Support for American Slacker comes from Manscaped, who's the #1 in men's below-the-belt grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels.
I don't know about you, Jesse, but I am sick and tired of being outmatched by these razors and traditional trimmers that you get in the store, and no matter what, they fucking snag your nuts.
That's why Manscaped has redesigned the electric trimmer. They have a Lawnmower 2.0 razor, which they have sent our way, has a proprietary skin-safe technology, so you won't get those nicks or snags on your nuts.
Nice! Manscaping accidents are finally a thing of the past.
Yeah, and with our 20% off code plus free shipping, you're going to be saving a bunch of money and getting some great products that won't end up making it look like a war zone down there.
All you got to do is enter Slackers at checkout. Manscaped.com. 20% off. Get your anti-chafing ball deodorant, your sweet Lawnmower 2.0. Your nuts will thank you later.
You can even rep them by getting yourself a Manscaped.com t-shirt. So head on over to Manscaped.com, 20% off at checkout, enter code SLACKERS.
Get your ball swag here.
The Eagle has landed.
You're listening to American Slacker Podcast with Matthew Gertz and Jesse Landers.
Welcome to American Slacker Podcast. As always,
I'm
Matt.
Jesse, and today we are joined by our guest, Victor Ghaben of world famous Hotboys. Thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for having me.
Oh man, we're glad to have you. I haven't had the chance to actually appreciate it, but Jesse just won't stop blabbing about the restaurant and the food itself.
Right on. Sounds like we're doing something right.
Yeah, man.
Want to fill our audience in a little bit on kind of what you do and what the establishment's about?
Yeah, for sure. We're located in Oakland, in the middle of Uptown, on 16th and San Pablo, and we serve Nashville hot chicken. The menu's super simple. It's got, I think, like 10 items on it, maybe 12. But yeah, it's very bare bones, and we just try to do everything that we can to make that simple menu as good as possible for as many people as possible. Fried chicken's kind of hard to serve a lot of people, you know what I mean, at a high level. It's a very finicky thing, so it takes a lot of attention to detail. But I think we've got a staff in place that's good at giving people a special experience when they come in.
It's a lively place. I mean, if people go follow your Instagram at world famous Hotboys, you can see it even in your stories. Just there's like a certain emotion that people get when eating these sandwiches.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's true for Nashville hot chicken in general. Just, by virtue of how crazy the product is, you're eating something that's like super hot, so it kind of pushes your limits and it takes you down. And I think that's a big part of it for sure. But I think also the atmosphere that we provide and the service that we provide is special, and it goes above and beyond what a lot of places that serve the same cuisine will do.
Where do you think this fever for hot chicken has come from? It seems like in the last couple of years, it's like the thing.
Yeah, man, that's a good question. It's hard really to pinpoint. I know Burke's been eating it a lot more than me. Burke's my business partner. He's the co-creator of Hotboys, and he's kind of like the artistic branch of it. So anything that you see that's graphic oriented or visual oriented on our Instagram is Burke, and anything food oriented or in restaurant operation is me.
Nice.
And I think he might have a little more insight into that, but I think he would also say that it's kind of been a slow build. Prince's has been doing it for a while out in Nashville. Okay. That was the first one. That was the first hot chicken spot. And I think the story goes that, this woman was mad at her husband because he was coming home late. She thought he was cheating on her. And in order to get back at him, she made some chicken that was just way too spicy. She like emptied her cupboards of all the cayenne pepper in her cupboard, and like made this super hot chicken, trying to, show him what's really good, and it backfired and he loved it. And, I'm not sure how true that is or not. I know.
I love it either way.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great story regardless. Yeah. And I know the Prince family is still there. They operate one restaurant in Nashville, and they had another one that recently there was a kitchen fire and it burnt down partially. So I don't know if they're still open or not, but last time I was in Nashville, it wasn't serving. So there's only one Prince's, but there's a Hotville chicken over in LA now, which is owned by one of the Prince relatives. I think her name's Kelly or Kim or something like that. So shout out to them. Shout out to the originators. But I don't think it really caught on until a couple people kind of bandwagoned off of it. This place called Bolton's, which is my personal favorite hot chicken. It's out in East Nashville. They started doing it in the 90s, and they do hot fish as well, pork chops, stuff like that. And it's great. It's amazing. Obviously, no shade towards Prince's. I love their food as well. But, if I'm picking favorites, my personal favorite is Bolton's. I know a lot of people feel differently.
Nice thing is you got to eat every day so you can give them each a chance.
Right. Anytime I go to Nashville, it's pretty much all I eat. I'll stop in at all my favorites. There's like 5 or 6 that I'll go to in a matter of 2 days for sure.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, man, it's the cuisine. I think it's very simple. It's not easy to do, but it is, it's addictive. You eat it, and the pepper high that you get, and like that complex pepper flavor from mixing a couple different things together. Sorry about that. I don't know if you got that. That was a notification from my phone.
You're good.
Everything about it, I think fried chicken in general is super addictive. When you add like that kind of like endorphin rush from the spiciness to it, the kind of like sweet and savory elements to it, and like the fact that it's dipped in fat, it's just like so rich, and like really, it's a powerful eating experience,
Totally.
I was going to say it's an experience. Like, it's not just food at that point. And it's crazy because you're cranking it out fast too, which I enjoy too. It's not like you're going to get stuck waiting hours for this amazing food. That's, again, into the short menu you're talking about. I feel like that's, advice from a lot of the most famous chefs is to keep the menu simple and concentrate on making it perfect. And I think that's what you guys do best. It's amazing.
Yeah, we try to, man. I mean, we're not always perfect. I've definitely had people that weren't satisfied with the food, or, they tried everything on the menu and they hated all of it, this and that. But, we do everything we can to make everything consistently. And, we pride ourselves on our customer service. So if you didn't like something, let us know, and we'll do everything we can to make it right. And that's all we really can do,
That's awesome. And you do take some twists on, traditional like sides, like the pimento mac and cheese. That just that's something cool and different that I haven't seen anywhere else too.
Yeah. Well, that's like a Southern staple, man. Like pimento mac and cheese is like, you go out to the South, especially in Nashville and in Tennessee, pimento peppers, pimento cheese, pimento mac and cheese. Those are all like, very popular.
Okay.
And it's funny because it's a different mentality out here in the Bay Area. I get a lot of comments from people about the mac and cheese because it's a very polarizing thing in general. Some people like their mac and cheese creamy. Some people like it with this cheese or with that cheese. A lot of people in the Bay Area want mac and cheese that's like super gourmet, if you will. They want something that's like thrown into a cast iron skillet and baked with like breadcrumbs and herbs and this and that, and like 5-6 different cheeses. And I appreciate that. I've had really good mac and cheese that's made in a very fancy way, and, presents well, and like you pull it and has like a great cheese pull and all that. And I'm not talking shit on any of that. Sorry. I don't know if shit.
Oh, curse away, man.
Oh, you're
all right. Cool. Right on.
We're like a kitchen here. Anything goes.
Perfect. I'm in familiar waters. Okay. But our mac and cheese is like it's made to like replicate like kids, mac and cheese, like, like cheap mac and cheese that your mom made you as a kid. And like, we don't make instant mac, obviously we make it from scratch, but like the intention was to have it reminiscent of like your childhood,
Nice.
that was the intention, was like you eat it, no frills, it's gooey cheese, noodles are cooked correctly, and just like enough salt content to satisfy. That's the whole thing,
You made an interesting comment there. The fact that, so you're taking something that's from a different part of the country and dropping it here in the Bay Area, and something as simple as mac and cheese can be polarizing. How did that influence, like, were there any influences from the Bay Area for the recipes that you're doing?
Yeah. I mean, I took a cue from Homeroom when I was doing the mac and cheese for sure. Just because I know, they do such a good job, and they're able to just manufacture, just like produce so much mac and cheese on a daily basis that it was just impressive to me.
No,
So
sorry. I'm guessing Homeroom's another restaurant?
Oh, yeah. You're not familiar with it. You're in San Jose. That's right. You should definitely go check out Homeroom. It's a mac and cheese specialty shop in Oakland.
Oh, really?
They're so busy that their storefront, they ended up like renting a spot down the street just to do their delivery orders. That's how busy they are. Yeah. Which is super impressive because all they serve is mac and cheese. Like literally their entire menu is mac and cheese. It's, the standard mac and cheese is just like gooey yellow cheese and noodles, but it's done really well. And, it's reflected in how popular they are, that, the simplicity of it, and, the way that they produce it, the way they batch all their stuff. I kind of took a cue from that. So like I, batch this huge thing of roux and then create a cheese sauce. And then that cheese sauce sits in the walk-in, and then we can just cook noodles and make more on the fly. And It allows us to like keep up with demand. But with the rest of the menu, pertaining to the rest of the menu, I definitely drew a lot of influences from the South, not necessarily Nashville, but, different regions of the South. For example, the Greens, it's kind of more like a South Carolina vibe, if I'm being honest, than a Nashville vibe.
Okay.
There's a little more sugar in the pot liquor, which is the juices that the greens cook in. The chicken itself, I tried to kind of take cues from Bolton's because that was my favorite one. And in general, that's like my favorite fried chicken. And,
okay.
It doesn't taste like Hattie B's or Howlin' Ray's or Prince's at all. And I think that's kind of like that ended up working to our benefit because, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Howlin' Ray's or not.
No.
But Howlin' Ray's is like it's like this very popular hot chicken joint in LA that has it's garnered a lot of respect from Southern community as well as just LA. It's been voted like, best hot chicken sandwich, best fried chicken sandwich in Los Angeles.
Damn.
And
shit.
I've never had it, but they hold it down and everyone loves it. But we get a lot of comparisons drawn to them from people that have eaten there. And, it's very humbling, obviously, but we don't taste anything like it, which is a huge benefit because like everybody kind of that jumped onto the hot chicken train when it became popular seems to want to like fully replicate Hattie B's and Howlin' Ray's and like from like taste to seasoning to, vibe, all of it. It's just like, it almost looks like it's a carbon copy of these other restaurants. And one thing that Burke and I wanted to do was kind of create something that stood alone as like being unique without having to recreate the wheel, so we're still offering hot chicken. It just like is its own product.
That makes sense. I mean, you stray too far from that or try and do something that someone else is doing and you're not really being true to like yourself either.
Right.
And it sounds like you're taking flavors that are from all over based upon, what you think is best and like putting those taking something, the greens from North Carolina, the chicken from Nashville, little influences from the Bay Area.
Right,
That's going to
right.
make it. That's going to make a difference in your flavor.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, like you said, it doesn't stray too far off. We're not going crazy adding like a bunch of fruit to our coleslaw and kale and stuff. And we're kind of keeping it very simple and traditional. And it might not all be like straight up Nashville, but it's definitely Southern. You know what I mean? Like it's not far off what you would get at a Southern friends family dinner. You know what I mean? A couple of the recipes are straight up taken from Burke's mom and dad. You know what I mean? The Bonuts, for example. I think Burke's dad.
That's right. You guys do donuts too, don't you?
Yeah. Well, they're not donuts. They're bonuts.
Bonuts.
We take biscuit dough and we make donuts out of them in our fryers.
Damn.
Oh man.
Flaky. And then we season them like churros. So it's like a Southern churro. You know what I mean?
Oh, baby.
Yeah, they're really good, bro. But like I think Burke's dad was the person that like popularized the donut in the South, at least in Virginia where he's from.
Okay.
Because he used to show up to school sporting events in middle school and high school with a deep fryer in his truck and make donuts and sell donuts at the swim meets and the football games and stuff like that. That was back in that was back in the early 90s.
Oh,
so
wow.
Like, we don't stray very far off of what his recipe was, which is like, just this simple, like Southern biscuit dough that you allow to rise at room temperature and then you just deep fry it. And there's just a couple things that he passed on to us that made this huge difference in the end product. I'm not going to share those things because it's top secret, but there's it's definitely something that's got like good history to it. And we're going to be launching a couple new products. One's going to be a sweet potato biscuit, which is Burke's mom's recipe. And then we're going to be doing wings soon. We're going to be doing a couple other new items. I'd like to start doing cornbread eventually. We'll see how that goes.
Hit me with some good cornbread and a hot chicken sandwich. Damn.
Yeah.
Dude, all day.
Yeah.
So you
cornbread.
you mentioned before, like a lot of like, there's the bigger names and then there's the people kind of trying to copy what they're doing. Would you say this hot chicken train is like, is it a camaraderie between everyone? Do you find it to be very like supportive or is it combative and you guys are kind of like fighting for your spot?
I think that's just depending on who you ask, I've definitely gotten some negativity from other people that were local that were doing something similar to what we do. And, we kind of just brushed it off, and that's not really our vibe to, be negative about stuff like that. I feel like, if somebody's making fried chicken or somebody's making hot chicken, their life parallels mine. And it's something that's, we should kind of rejoice in, or like, there is a level of camaraderie, at least in my eyes, for that. That being said, I definitely know a couple people that were salty when we started selling more often, because when we started this, me and Burke were doing pop-ups out of my backyard. We were doing pop-ups out of his backyard.
Oh, wow.
Parking lots. And it was just me and him at the time. Like he was,
you had a culinary background from what it sounds like before that, though.
Not really. I mean, like, let me put it this way. I've been working in restaurants most of my life, but it's not like a high culinary, like I went to school type of deal. Like,
right.
My family is in the restaurant business. So, Mexican restaurant, like family-owned Mexican restaurant was like kind of the intro to it. Diners, like I used to work in a lot of different diners for my aunts, my uncles, my parents themselves. I helped my parents manage a couple of their diners for a while. They have they have 3 of them. So that's kind of what I grew up in, was like that fast-paced, greasy spoon diner vibe. And that's kind of like where I got my my work ethic from, which is like not to say anything about like culinary school or anything like that, but like I was just raised different, man. Like I don't wear a chef's coat, not, like I'm not afraid to like do all the dishes for an entire day if I have to, or jump in a trash can, or
right.
pack the dumpster down myself.
Mop it down at the end of the night.
Right. Yeah. That's how I was kind of like brought into it. So it's not like a culinary, you know what I mean, background, but I've definitely grown up.
It's kind of a loaded word, I guess. Culinary.
Right. Well, I don't want to like say like, yeah, I have a strong culinary background, this and that, and then have some like snooty chef dude like ask me where I went to school and just be like, I went to.
Well,
you're very humble.
I was going to say you probably have more experience than a lot of kids that come out of school. I
have a lot of job experience and a lot.
You see the total wrap. You're not just seeing the chef portion or whatever. You're getting a full business class at the same time, seeing like your parents succeed in their restaurants and. Working among all the other ones. Right.
Yeah. It's just different. I mean, like, obviously I would have loved to have gone to culinary school. I just didn't really have the opportunity to, as being the age that I was at, I had already gone to college in Colorado. And upon my return from college, it was just like hit the ground running again with the restaurant stuff, So there was no, my sister actually went to culinary school. My younger sister. So she has a culinary degree and she's got a college degree as well.
Where at the
she went to which one was it? It was I think she went to.
Was it the one in Hyde Park?
No, she was in LA when she did it.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, we live by the culinary.
I think it was like Cordon Bleu or something.
Okay, cool. Yeah, our hometown is where the Culinary Institute of America is, so we always saw the fancy chefs in their plaid stuff and their weird hats.
Right. and you know what? They make some really good food, I bet.
Oh yeah.
I worked with one girl that went there, and she was a pastry chef, and she'd bring in her extra stuff,
radical
class projects, and we were like, yes.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. I mean, like, you can't fake that kind of training, Like, I could bake a biscuit, but I mean, when it comes to pastry chefing, that's one of the hardest things. There's a lot of science behind that.
Yeah, it does get very interesting in terms of like
a lot of science behind it. Yeah,
all the measurements and things
it's just like chemical
into consideration.
It's chemical, and it's the same with fried chicken, kind of, but to a greater extent. Like fried chicken, you're dealing with different flours and
surface areas.
Yeah, exactly. Like the heat, the way the heat reacts to the skin, and how it you have to. There's like a balance, and you have to understand the science behind it to kind of make it good.
You guys definitely have figured that out. You got some Einsteins back there in the kitchen.
Yeah. The boys are holding it down. I'm super proud of my whole staff.
How would you say social media has like worked with your business? It seems like you guys have a really awesome presence. Like the branding is fantastic. I know you've mentioned your partner is a big part of that.
Yeah. The branding, I mean, the branding was primarily Burke, I obviously I had input, but he's the idea guy and he bounces ideas off of me and trusts that I have good enough taste to at least give him good input. But the branding was kind of like we were trying to create something that didn't feel new. It was basically we had the idea of like permanence or just like longevity involved when we were branding it, That's why the world famous before we even opened our doors, that's why like the color scheme is kind of like reminiscent of almost like a 50s, 60s vibe. And when you walk into the restaurant, it looks like we've been there for years. You couldn't tell that we just opened that restaurant December 30th.
Yeah, no, I just stopped in like a month ago or so, and I thought you guys had been a staple for Oakland for a while.
I mean, if you
go ahead, bro.
If you look, you guys look world famous Hotboys up online. You guys have made serious waves among articles. I find more articles from you guys than establishments that have been open longer than a decade.
Yeah, it's crazy, bro.
So you're doing something right, man.
Yeah, it's funny how that works. Like when the last restaurant that I was involved with helping to open was it's this restaurant called Batch and Brine in Lafayette. Mm-hmm. And it's a burger bar. They do like high-end burgers, really good cocktails. The food is amazing. But when they were doing the PR and everything, they hired a PR company, and the PR company like didn't yield any results, man. Like, it was just like, it was brutal. Like, a couple articles here and there from smaller publications. But, you know, when me and Burke set out to open Hotboys, we kind of thought about the PR and the marketing, and we were just like, you know what, let's just do it ourselves. And I don't want to pay somebody thousands of dollars to not like put their heart into it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And we told ourselves, like, we're not going to run a single ad. We're not going to pay Facebook a dime. You know, we're not going to beg people to follow us and play that, you know, follow for follow game. We're just going to like put our noses down and grind it out and make food and, you know, create content that we were happy with and put that out there for people to see and see what the result is. And, you know, the response has been great. I mean, like, I'm super excited about it, and I'm like really humbled that there's a lot of people out there that kind of feel the vision that we were going for, and, you know, kind of gravitate towards it, and it resonates with them.
It's a very open and accepting vibe for sure. It's like, come on in. We're all eating hot chicken. You can be a part of this party.
Yeah. Come sweat it out. Exactly.
What now, speaking of the hotness, what are the levels that you guys have?
So when we started, we had 6 levels when we stared.
Okay.
We ended up removing one just because it was way too excessive, and it was expensive as well. I mean, like, people don't realize this, but when they're ordering a hot sandwich or a hot sandwich, their sandwich costs about $1 more to make.
Just because of like the peppers and ingredients involved?
Yeah, exactly. So like the levels we have currently are Southern, which is no spice at all. Mild is like very approachable. It's, you know, there's not even cayenne pepper in it. It's super mild peppers that, you know, it's part of our special blend, which is, it's pretty different than everyone else's. We use peppers that other people haven't really been touching yet. And that's like the mild. The medium has a good kick to it. It has a habanero and ghost pepper in it on top of it.
That's the one I had, the medium. That was really good.
That's my favorite. Yeah, the flavor there is, it's got a good complexity to it. There's like 4 or 5 different peppers in it, as well as a good balance of sweet and savory, sugars and spices. And the kick is, it's like enough to make you really think twice about going higher. You know what I mean?
I
like,
want
that
to.
was the idea.
My mission is to come in and do the hot now.
Good luck, bro. It's brutal. Hey, I
don't think I could handle it.
So Burke eats hot. Burke only eats hot.
Really?
Yeah, and I used to be like that, but my stomach just can't take it anymore, man. I'll stay with medium, and even like sometimes I'll just eat Southern, just because, you know, the fried chicken's good, man, and it works well with the dipping sauces. Southern, it's almost like, you know, that alone could have been a chicken concept, but, you know, the fact that we do hot chicken also is, you know, what brings a lot of people in. It's definitely a buzzword food item.
Oh, definitely. You know? It's like people take it as a personal challenge when they hear that there's a hot chicken place in town.
Dude, yeah, you'd be surprised how many people come in and they come in talking shit, you know, like for real, they come in and they're just like, I want your hottest thing. No, I don't want to try the other ones. Give me the hottest one. You know, I've trained my entire staff to like basically try and walk these people off the cliff, and they don't want to listen. And
your employee did that for me as well when I went in to order, because I'm like, yeah, I'll get the hot. I wasn't a dick about it like these other people, but I was like, yeah, I'll get the hot. And he's like, you might want to think about going with medium if it's your first time in. I was like, all right, you're the boss, you know this.
Right. And I mean, like, you tell me, man, was the medium spicy?
It was good. You know, it built over the time, but it had like a really nice flavor to it. I'd want to try the hot just because I'm I don't know, maybe I'm a masochist, but I'm intrigued.
I understand.
You know, see what kind of damage it could do. The hot sounds like something I wouldn't wish on my enemies.
Yeah, the hot man is that's definitely some food challenge stuff.
I saw it on your stories the other day. Someone was talking about getting a tattoo if they didn't finish the sandwich or something like that.
Yeah, this guy came in hot, talking shit. like I was saying, he came in, he wanted the hottest thing we could have. He said there's no way that we could make something hot enough to keep him from eating it. And then he voluntarily said that if he can't finish it, he'll get a tattoo of our logo on his forearm. And we made a hella hot for him, which we took off the menu, of course. And he took one bite of it, and his face lit up like crazy. His face was like noticeably bug-eyed, freaking out. But he took another bite, and he was like chewing it, processing it, and it looked like he was going to handle it. Then he took a third bite, and he just put it down, and he told me to make the appointment. So I called Burke, because Burke's a tattoo artist, actually.
Nice.
That's one of his trades. And we had him on like live chat like this. And my boy Pyam, who's like one of my employees, and he's like great dude. He's on the microphone, and he kind of like had the microphone. He was like, "Yo, Burke, you got to see this shit, man. This guy just ate the hella hot, took 3 bites, said he'd get the tattoo of our logo on his forearm, this and that." And, Burke's in contact with him. I don't know if it's going to happen or not. Sometimes people.
Oh, it's got it now.
Out of stuff. Sometimes people back out of stuff like that, But yeah, I mean, as far as I know, he's going to be in LA on Wednesday, and we'll give him a free tattoo for sure.
That's awesome. I really hope he goes through with it.
Yeah, me too, man. That'd be great. That's good content right there.
That's fantastic, man. So where did you and Burke like first meet? It sounds like you guys have been like working together for a while. Yeah.
So me and Burke first met in Colorado when I was in college, and he's older than I am. He's 37 and I'm 30. And basically Burke moved to Colorado. He got kicked out of Virginia on some graffiti stuff, I guess. The judge asked him to leave Virginia.
State? Just get out of the state?
Yes.
Damn.
And he moved to Colorado, and he opened this store that I was telling you about earlier called Elm and Oak, and it was a record label. And you can search it. It's got a little track record of its own. They have some releases that hit billboards. They used to handle this band called Cherub.
Okay.
That was pretty popular a couple years ago, and they were throwing a lot of parties. One of his business partners was like a big DJ at the time. He was touring a lot, and that was like their main focus. But I met him at the store opening because I wanted to go check it out. They had really cool creative marketing, and their branding was cool. And like a lot of my friends were already tapped in with them and had, hung out with them and partied with them a few times. So I went in there, and Burke was DJing at his own spot. I don't know if that's like corny or something, but yeah, he was DJing at his own spot, and he was doing a great job. He's a great DJ. Shout out Burke. But he was shit-faced. He was like plastered. And I walk up, and I like see one of his paintings there, and I'm like, asking someone that works there, like, how much is this painting? They go, "Oh, I don't know. You got to ask Burke. He's over there DJing. It's his painting." And I go over there, and he's just like plastered. And I ask him, like, "Hey, Burke, how much for this painting?" He goes, "Oh man, I don't know. It's listed at 500. I was like, "Okay, well, it's a little out of my price range right now." I was a broke college student at the time. He said, "Okay, well, give me 100 for it." And I bought it, and it was $100. And can I flip my camera?
Yeah, it should work within Zoom.
Hold on, let me see here. There it is. That's it right there.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Mind getting a little closer?
So I bought that for $100. Yeah. Right there.
That's sick. Damn. I was looking at his Instagram just before we got on the call with you here, and it looks like he does some really cool stuff.
Yeah, he's a G, man. He's been doing this a long time. Just art in general, art related stuff. But so I bought the painting from him for $100. Anyways, the next day I woke up, and he called me, and he was like, "Yo, man, I kind of sold that to you for way too little money. He was like kind of pissed off because like they were priced at like $500 and $1,000. So I straight up like shafted him.
Oh my God.
But I never paid him any more money than that for that painting. But I have bought, a couple other ones since then. Here's another one right there.
Oh, wow.
It's
Wow,
like
yeah.
when
That's
me
crazy.
and Burke were living in LA, I think like 2012.
Oh yeah, I see the LA in it now. That's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. And that's him and this kid Jumbo Jet. Shout out Jet. He's a nice dude also. He lives out in Gary, Indiana.
Okay.
Yeah. But
so you get hooked up with him
I basically took
through
advantage of him, yeah.
stealing his painting.
Right.
And
right.
you're like, I got you on this chicken restaurant idea.
Right. Well, that there's a couple of years in between, but that's pretty much the gist of it.
From what I was reading, doing a little bit of research, it sounded like you guys were working out of like a test kitchen kind of thing, the forage in Oakland.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a commissary kitchen. So the space is used for anything from catering to menu development, co-packing. They do like a lot of like small batch, different food people produce and then sell. Because it's a commercial kitchen, you can like go in there, rent a table, just make your stuff, and then it's still, still produced in a commercial kitchen, so you can sell it.
That's okay. So what it sounds like is you can go into this place and sort of test out new ideas and stuff like that if you're in like the restaurant industry.
Right. Well, I mean, it's just a rental per space. You could do it if you're not in the restaurant industry too. I just don't know if your time will be spent very effectively because it's definitely not cheap, but it's definitely it's a fun environment and a lot of creative people, a lot of talented people in there. I think right now they've got Shawar Maji, which is this Jordanian kid. He was a sous chef at a restaurant in the Bay Area I'm not familiar with.
Okay.
But he's serving shawarma out of Forage Kitchen now, and it looks really good. I'm probably going to go pop in on it in the next day or two because it looks great. But yeah, I mean, we started off doing a bunch of basically illegal stuff that was, if the health department caught us, they would not have been super pleased with us. And Forage Kitchen was kind of like our first legitimizing move. It kind of like put us in a space that was fully, licensed commercial kitchen, had restaurant grade equipment instead of my little home pressure fryer that I was using without a lid,
Yeah.
So it was like a big jump up for us. But we went from, basically curating these events that had, 20 or 30, 50 people show up to them, 100 people, whatever the number was. They got pretty big towards the end. I think the last one we did was in LA and had a couple hundred people show up, and we sold out of food pretty quickly. And
it's a good problem to have.
Yeah, for sure. But it's funny because like we went from that to Forage Kitchen, and our hours changed dramatically, and we were open 3 days a week, and like our volume just went like
really,
plummeted. Like the first week we were open at Forage Kitchen, there was no buzz. We just started the Instagram. There were like 300 followers on it. All of our friends that we were inviting to these things and people that they were bringing all had jobs, and we were operating from 11 until 4 p.m. in an area of Oakland that didn't have anyone nearby it really. It's all auto body shops, and there's like a YMCA gym and a bunch of restaurants that aren't particularly busy. So we opened up, and the first week we sold like 5 or 6 sandwiches a day, I think.
Damn.
And it was like that for 2 weeks. We slowly picked up. By like the end of the first month, which was June of 2019, we were upwards of, like 20 or 30 sandwiches a day, which I thought was like, really good for us. And given the space that we were allotted in the kitchen, we were able to keep up with it at a comfortable pace. And then a couple weeks into July, this woman by the name of Ellen, I think her last name's Fort, if I'm not mistaken, she was a journalist for Eater SF at the time. She reached out to us because she saw something on Hoodline, which is like a bare bones kind of food. And it's not a food blog. It's like a bare bones, like business blog where like XYZ applies for ABC license in this area. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And she saw Hotboys applies for an ABC license in uptown Oakland at 1601 San Pablo. And she like kind of just, out of curiosity, because the name kind of struck her, I guess, searched it up and found the building. And based on the building's aesthetic, which was, it's iconic. The building itself is iconic. She reached out to us for a comment just because it just looks cool. And she was, did a little research, saw that we serve hot chicken, saw the building. And then she was just like, oh, I'm from Nashville. I should talk to these people, And then when she talked to us, I think it was, this interview that me and Burke were on his cell phone for. And Burke has a Nashville area code because he went to MTSU, Middle Tennessee State University. So the conversation just like kicked off very quickly. She was like, oh my God, Nashville area code, and it was just like this very positive conversation, and it ran over by like half an hour. We talked to her for like an hour straight on the phone.
Nice.
And she published the first like major article about us in Eater SF, and from there it just kind of like went way up. I mean, we went from going 20-30 sandwiches in one employee a day to 100 sandwiches a day overnight.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And,
that must have been a struggle to deal with that influx.
It was brutal. It was brutal. I don't think I've worked less than 70 hours a week since June.
Wow.
Oh man.
Yeah. But we got through it and hired more people. I think, we've been putting an emphasis on who we hire as being like people that we wouldn't mind having a conversation with. That's like the bare, when it comes down to it, that's like what we hire off of, is just like, can I talk to these people? Are they cool? Like, interacting with them. Do they have personality?
Oh yeah. To succeed, you're going to need a tight ship.
Yeah. And then after that, it's kitchen experience, because most of my staff is not trained kitchen guys, surprisingly enough. I've like beaten that into them.
Well, that way they don't come with any bad habits either.
Yeah, that's kind of true. But they're dry sponges. They soak everything up that I'm putting out there, and because they don't have a background in it, they don't know better. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of the times when you get someone with a lot of experience, they want to be the captain of the ship, and it's just like, dude, we've gotten this far doing it this way. Just do it this way. And these, a lot of my guys, they didn't have kitchen experience, but they're good listeners and they're good with people. And that's what really counts, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't need to leave the establishment and then all of a sudden it becomes Ken's fried chicken because he doesn't want to do it your way. It's a completely different product. You're like, what the fuck is this?
It's funny because I got a guy named Kenny, and I hope he watches that part.
No, I didn't mean to get you, Ken.
No, I'm just playing. Kenny's awesome. Anyways, yeah, man, it's crazy how it grew, and social media has definitely played a big part in it. But not conventionally. I think conventionally, normally you pay to play with social media a lot,
right?
And we got lucky. I mean, like a lot of stars definitely aligned with our growth, and the way people have adopted us. I mean, shit, we named the restaurant world famous Hotboys, and then Megan Thee Stallion created a song called Hot Girl Summer. And then
couldn't be more perfect, right?
Started Hot Boy Summer like a week later. So it was just like, it was like a perfect storm of things falling in place for us to get this reaction.
And the visuals definitely very grabbing, and then you got the amazing food to back it up. It's an amazing product that you got going here, and I'm not surprised that you're getting the notoriety that actually deserve.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate it.
Yeah, totally. I do have to ask you so we can get a little exclusive here. I was looking at one of your videos on Facebook and it says secret menu alert. Don't get lost in the sauce, or don't get it lost sauce. And you got a can of grape Shasta with some cheese being poured over it. First off, I'm digging how like Adult Swim kind of feel these are. They're really cool. But what the hell is going on here? And what is this secret menu item you're talking about?
Yeah, that video in particular, I think we've got a friend of ours. His name's Mike. He goes by Dude Where's My Tacos on Instagram. He's a food influencer. He's like a food blogger.
Okay.
And he takes a lot of photos for us and video content and stuff like that. That's kind of more food oriented. It's not like the normal, like, Tim and Eric style, if you will, that you're kind of referencing.
Yep.
But he came in one day. He also manages our Instagram in terms of like scheduling posts and stuff like that. He doesn't create a lot of that kind of like funny content, but he definitely like manages that Instagram.
Okay.
Not the direct messages, but like the posts themselves.
Gotcha.
And he came in one day to take some photos because I was working on kind of like repurposing our mac and cheese sauce to be just a cheese sauce and use them on fries and stuff, which, I mean, we're set to do it. We just haven't figured out the space factor because it's a small restaurant. But we were taking pictures of the cheese sauce and I was just kind of bored with all the shots. And I think he was too. We weren't really feeling what we were doing at the time. And I was just like, dude, just pour it all over the grape Fanta. You know what I mean? Like, pour it all over the grape Fanta. If anything, we'll just get some people questioning it. And that's kind of like better than them ignoring it, You
definitely did. It worked because I'm like, what the hell? I need to know about this now.
Yeah, right. And, we get people that are, long time pop-up loyalists that come in and they ask about the Fanta still. Cause, that was like, at the time we were just trying not to lose our asses. And, Fanta was cheap. So we were buying Fanta. Yeah. And they still ask about the Fanta and they want Fanta. And, I'm just like, dude, we got this crazy soda machine now and you don't need Fanta anymore. You can get High C, you can get like,
whatever you want.
There's a bunch of stuff. You can have whatever you want. There's like 200 different flavors in this shit. But yeah, it's funny that you ask about that. Cause like after we took that video, Taco, I call him Taco because I don't know. It's just easier. I got too many mics in my life right now.
We got a taco too.
We got a taco. It's funny. Shout out to our taco.
Yep.
What up?
Shout out to all the tacos.
Shout out to
He's
all
an
the
artist.
tacos. All tacos need love right now. Tacos are. I love tacos. They're great.
Who doesn't love tacos?
Right?
Not any friend of mine. I'll tell you that.
Hey, if you don't love tacos, don't talk to me. Okay. For real.
Nice.
But Taco was like kind of like looking back at that video and he was like, I'm going to post it. I was like, you're going to post it? Yeah, fuck it. Whatever. If people think it's weird, then they'll comment and say gross. And then that's to our benefit because they commented on our shit. So
exactly. It's definitely it's a cool, like you said, it's kind of that Tim and Eric Adult Swim mixed with almost like hip hop video / like skate videos from like the 90s.
Yeah, that's definitely a lot of what our influence was. I mean, let me show you something really quick.
More exclusives.
We've got, more exclusives. Hold on. This is the current Hotboys box of just shit that we haven't put to use yet. We print our own stickers. So we've got like
nice
wide format printer
dope.
and we've been just like blasting gigantic stickers.
There you go.
We've got like, weird shit like Foghorn Leghorn ski masks.
Oh, nice.
Put that one on. I'll put this one on for you. You guys are the first one. Hold on one second.
Uh-oh, the big reveal.
You ready? Here it comes. If I could just flip this over.
Oh my God. That's amazing. So how much are you going to pay somebody to stand out in front of the restaurant?
I haven't thought about it. I think it's kind of like more just for the staff. One of my crew members, this kid Squid, makes those. They're called Stuffy Buddy beanies.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he literally just he like mangles these stuffed animals and sews them onto clothing and bags and stuff. It's super rad, actually.
He's just in there ripping off the crotches of Beanie Babies and making them into hats.
Yeah, no, it's fire. And like he brings them in, and like a lot of the time you'll come in and like my staff will be wearing beanies that have chickens shooting out the side, like these ski masks that have chickens like sewn into them. And Squid makes all of them, and we've actually he's I don't really care that he does this, but he like literally uses Hotboys as a platform to sell them. He sold one that had Mario on it the other day to a guy that has a Mario mustache, like a waxed upwards mustache.
There you go.
So it helps the artistic element of it. It just like it feeds our brand creativity, and it feeds his pocket. So I'm all for it.
Why not?
Yeah. But the influence, the skate influence is definitely evident. I mean, I think me and Burke both agree that pretty much anything cool from our entire childhood was birthed around skateboarding. Punk music, the music we listen to, the fashion that we go for with our merchandise, our branding, all of it was taking cues from skateboard culture, for sure. Our logo is like it's like a mix between World Industries and Spitfire. You know what I mean?
That's I totally was getting the World Industries vibe from it.
Yeah, and like
and I've seen Thrasher mashups and
right,
whatnot.
Exactly. Yeah. Like we have paper that we haven't used yet, but we have these like sandwich wraps that are these all over print. I don't have them here, but anyways,
yeah, no worries.
All over print, and it's just like all skateboard branding redone, and like I think there's a big ass Toy Machine logo painted on the back of our building too, if you look closely.
Yeah, the mural on the outside it's fantastic, man.
Yeah, that's like if you look at the high point of the mural, the back wall above the trash enclosure, you probably haven't seen it because of the huge fence in front of our building. But it's like a spoof of the Toy Machine logo, except instead of horns, it's flames coming out of his head.
Nice.
So I mean, that influence is definitely there.
We dig it.
You guys definitely have an image that it like leads to the eyes to it, and I think after Jesse's experience, we can put the American Slacker fucking badge of approval on the food. Boom. I think everybody needs to check this place out. You need to go to Oakland. You need to check out the Hotboys. How do they find you on social media? Is it world famous Hotboys everywhere across?
It is, except for Twitter. Twitter didn't want us to win. Yeah, Twitter.
Fucking Twitter every time.
We feel that pain. American Slacker podcast is pretty long. They shortened us as well.
Yeah.
Right. So instead of world famous Hotboys, it's WF Hotboys, which sucks, but we don't really use Twitter anyways.
Yeah, let's hope it dies. Twitter. I'm over Twitter, honestly. Jesse's the only one that clings on. To be honest, we don't use Twitter and we don't use Facebook. I have my Instagram posting automatically to Facebook, but that's the extent of it. I just the demographic that we were trying to reach just doesn't use Facebook anymore. I mean, no. Some of them do, but the vast majority are on Instagram. And if they're on Twitter, they're also on Instagram anyways. So it's all good.
Nice. Well, I would definitely suggest all of the listeners and our audience members to definitely go follow you on Instagram. If anything, just for the stories alone. If you're not in Oakland, it doesn't matter. You'll still get a kick out of all these people suffering through these delicious sandwiches.
Yeah, there's some good stuff on there for sure. You can watch some grown men cry. You can watch. I don't approve of this part, but you can watch people like pranking their friends and stuff. They get like 3 or 4 mild tenders and then sneak a hot out in there or something.
There you go. Man. April Fool's is coming up.
Yeah.
Perfect
spot to go to. Perfect.
Yeah, don't do that though. I got to be clear. Don't do that.
Our lawyers told us that we have to.
Yes,
well, thank you.
Our legal counsel.
Well, thank you again for coming on, Victor. We hope that you have an endless supply of chicken in your future to keep bringing these delights to the world.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me.
No problem.
Yeah, man. And thank you, everybody, tuning in at home. And we love each and every one of you. Until next time, that's it.
There you go.
We smoking America. We passing America. Yeah. I'm mapping America. I'm second America. We talking America. We blazing America. This is fucking America. We're second America.
This has been American Slacker Podcast. You can reach the show by searching American Slacker on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Reddit, or send them an email to americanslackerpodcast@gmail.com. You can download and rate American Slacker on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, and all other podcast platforms. Visit the show's website, aspodcast.com, where you will find every episode, official merchandise, and links to their Patreon if you would like to support American Slacker.
We smoking America. We passing America. Yeah. I'm mapping America.